Welcome back to the channel, fam. Welcome back to the channel. This is Brian, the introverted marketer, and it ain't hard to tell. It's simple. Now, I know you're probably wondering why I'm in the comment section of a previous video, but I did do a video yesterday on vsub.io, and I saw this comment here by Kenneth Bernardo Tunes, and he asks, "What do you think about Mootion AI?" And what I said is, I haven't had a chance to review them yet. However, I will try to take a look at them before they leave AppSumo. So let's go over to AppSumo. And I do have AppSumo Plus. And currently, Mootion is pretty much out of the general purchasing capabilities. So if you do have AppSumo Plus, you are able to pick it up on extended access for the next 47 hours. So I did end up picking up Tier 3. So what is Mootion actually? So it allows you to turn text, scripts, images, and audio files into impactful videos that are ready to share. They're pretty much storyboarding, generate from prompt, and you are able to animate your actual videos. Now, if you've seen in my previous video with VSub, you saw that you can animate videos of credits, but you also seen that you can use an API key. And I'm starting to be a big fan of whether it's with lifetime deals or actual subscriptions. Instead of just buying directly from the vendor credits, just being able to use your API key, I think that makes things a little bit more reasonable because it gives you options to make things affordable. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the different tiers are and why I'm doing this full testing on tier 3 instead of tier 1. So I wanted to see the prioritized generation on ultra realistic voiceovers. So you see for the different tiers, the only thing that really changes, well, not the only thing, but the big things that changes is in tier 2, which is probably the key area to check out, is you get prioritized generation in ultra realistic voiceovers. So you don't get any ultra realistic voiceovers at all. Not even in a limited sense on tier 1. And for $69, I suppose it's understandable. But on tier 3, you get 8,000 credits per month, 50,000 character prompts, and the size asset is 115 gigabytes versus 12 gigabytes on tier 1. And the max scene per project is 16. So I would assume people with agencies or people that's going to be heavily using this tool probably wouldn't want to lock in tier 2 or tier 3 because you just have size asset, bigger size, and you get more scenes per project. And they are coming out of Hong Kong. And actually, we're going to actually go over and check out the pricing and everything, the website, and see which each tier corresponds with. So I was checking out, I like to check out usually the most critical reviews before we get in. So we go down to the two tacos. This one is talking about the voiceovers for the Arabic voiceovers. Underwhelming with little to no support, inconsistencies. And this one's saying credit changes after purchasing plans. Now, I'm not privy to any of that. This is October 24th, 2025, when they actually did their review. So we're going to go ahead and test things out. And I am also tapped in on tier 3 just for testing purposes, just to see how this product is working. But one thing you do need to understand, and if you look down in their response, where is it? Sorry, I just want to find it before we move on. So they said that they raised it due to new advanced video model, smooth terms of smooth video visuals rather, higher clarity and better control. And the founder was also open to having an open discussion. So I hope they was able to work things out with that. The cost of doing business is always changing. And I never consider myself a simulating. I don't like that term because I explore lifetime deals on all platforms. It's just AppSumo just makes things convenient because if they're very, very friendly, refund policy, 60 days, things of that nature. But I notice with AppSumo, the platform itself, that people have a certain expectation. And if you don't meet it, you're pretty much going to hear a lot about it. So let's go on and check out the actual website. You see I'm in the pro plan. I just picked this up today. So that's the back office, but let me see. Let me check out the website before we actually go into the back office. So I'm actually going to go ahead and we'll just show you. All right. Here are some of the plans. So we're tapped into the pro plan. And the yearly costs about $40 for this plan that I'm mapped to. And for the plus, which is 3,000 credits per month, which is about tier 2, about $20 a month. And the standard, which you get $17.50 for 69, and the license tier 1, about $12 on a yearly. Pretty much the same, except you get a little bit more on AppSumo, 12 gigabytes, 25 gigabytes. And if you notice, you don't get ultra realistic on the standard either. So on AppSumo, you are getting a little bit, in my opinion, a fairer deal, a better deal rather, because you're getting more than what you would actually get on the monthly plans. There's just nothing that, maps to the max plan, which is understandable because they're charging $200 for 3,200 credits. And I imagine offering such a deal probably will be unsustainable for them, no matter what price they priced it at. And you do see you have the options to buy credits, starting from $2, going all the way up to $8 for 1,000 credits. And they do have API. You want to use the API to do your videos, that option is there. I actually didn't want to show you the regular website, so let me just sign out first. Head over to Mootion. Check out the website, we'll sign right back in. This is what it looks like, and here's some of the examples they're showing right here. And these are what I would like to consider best case scenarios. They look pretty good. But what I've seen in some of the comments is a lot of people saying that it consumes a lot of credits. This looks pretty awesome right here. And if you honestly don't know what you're doing the first few times, you can just run through your credits. And that's understandable. We're going to test things out and just see how that looks. Okay, present yourself with tailored AI avatars. Gauge your audience on any device. And one thing I did want to note that I might have overlooked, you do have general commercial use. So I want to know what that actually means, general commercial use. So before we actually dive into it in the FAQs, we can go to the terms of service. You see they have different templates here, and you see that in the back, but I do want to see what the TOS is, because what does a general commercial use actually means? Here it is, terms of service. And we're going to ask ChatGPT. Can you explain the terms and conditions to me as if my IQ was 80, please? Shout out Paris Speech. Okay. All right, some features cost money, of course. Your content, which you upload, you still own, but you give Mootion permission to store it, modify it, use it, and run and improve their service. So essentially, if you upload things there, they're gonna train off of it. So you do need to understand that. Okay, get back. The stuff Motion generates belong to you, but they can give similar results to other users. You don't get exclusivity. That's curious language right there, which you're not allowed to do legally. Scrape, automate, no automation, malware, impersonate people, copyright. They don't. If they don't like what you upload, they don't have to monitor content. They can remove anything at any time. They don't owe you an explanation. If they shut you down, they can suspend or delete your account at any time for any reason without notice. They are not responsible for your losses. You should have saved your files. If something breaks, everything's provided as is. No guarantees, no promises. It works perfectly. No promises won't break. If it messes up, not their fault. If something goes wrong, arbitration, can't sue them in court. So these are things to consider because once you leave the safety of the AppSumo deals, you deal directly with Motion, or if you choose to sign up with them on a monthly plan, these are things that you need to understand. That's why you see in a lot of my videos, I'll go over the TOS, even if we're engaging with a lifetime deal platform first that gives you their protections first. But once you leave outside of their protections, you're just pretty much on your own. Well, with AppSumo, unless they shut down within a year or so, then you're entitled to a refund if you're on Plus. So I just want to ask, what does the general commercial terms mean? Okay, so they're not saying anything here. It's ownership, okay. I did want to see what the general commercial terms means. Okay, so you are the creator and owner. Okay, rights, permissions to authorize. Okay. All right. Do they talk about this here? The general commercial terms that they give the user. So they're talking about payment terms. But I don't see exactly general commercial use. There we go. General commercial use is what I meant. Okay, so here we are. You're allowed to use what you make money. Okay. TikTok and all those things commercialized. Okay, so you do not get exclusivity. Nothing in these terms will prevent Motion from creating or providing models to other users which are similar. Meaning someone can generate something very similar. You can't claim uniqueness or exclusivity. No IP mode. So standard for AI tools. So just something to keep in mind if you're gonna try to make a business out of this. You don't get exclusivity, which is an important limitation. So let's go ahead and close out of this, and we're gonna log back in. Because we're about a few minutes in. And we haven't exactly accomplished anything in 14 minutes. So here we are in the back, and your next video starts here. And for 40 credits, I would like to assume that this allows you to just use the AI to come up with something. So let's go ahead and come up with something for 40 credits. And you can see right here, it gave us an idea, the sleepy lion who dreamed of flying. And you have the director right here. So I think what I want to do for this test is we'll do a couple scripts, a couple videos, and we'll see how it turns out and really see how this thing works. You can see right here, it's going through different phases: the overall planning, the script writing, the storyboard design, and the video post-production setup. So I do like that you get to see how the AI is actually going about putting things together. And we do get to pick what we want. And you know me, I'm going for 16 by 9. Not really a TikTok kind of person, even though I know that's a popular format. And you do see we do get some good stuff: hyper cartoon, illustration, dream tale, sky tale, 80s film, minimalist, horror, sketchbook. So I think I want to go with, should we go with anime? No, no. What is that story about? A sleeping lion who dreamed of flying. So I do want to go with maybe illustration or something cartoon. Actually, picture book sounds pretty interesting. Does seem like a children's story. So let's go ahead and continue generating. So I do like how this just hands things off from the director straight to the screenwriter, and they'll come up with the script. You can see right here they're developing the script. Leo the Lion was famous, but not for his role or his hunting skills. Instead, he was known for his his extraordinary naps. That definitely sounds like me when I was younger. We have Milo or Milo, the meerkat. We have an owl in our story. So this is awesome. It actually comes up with a script for you. So if you don't have anything beforehand, it'll come up with a script. And it actually seems like a pretty competent script as I'm reading it along. Even the kings of grasslands can visit the sky, if only in dreams. Ah. So our screenwriter has finished the script, and our animator, wow, this looks pretty competent. I'm it it actually does. Now there's a little bit of an issue here. We do have our, and now I see what they're talking about. So I have 8,000 credits. It's going to take 8 minutes to generate. We do have a choice to generate all the scenes, and it is giving us a bit of a clock, countdown clock, and I'm not sure why. But this actually looks pretty good. For the most part, the character is pretty consistent, the lion. I just want all the images to load. I can see that since I didn't select yes, it blocked it out, and the only thing left is no. We do have the editor here. I didn't want to select yes because all the actual images didn't load. So that's curious that it's kind of like in a hurried state where it doesn't give you time. Now, maybe because my internet's a little slow, or I don't know why the images hasn't exactly all loaded. But I didn't want to press yes when I didn't even see what all the images look like. Even though for the most part, the lion does look fairly consistent across the storyboard, which I can appreciate. We just have this one issue here where they have an extra paw, extra hand, rather. But for the most part, the line looks pretty much the same. And here's the editor. And they're giving us title style, subtitle style. We couldn't pick anything for the avatar. They selected the voiceover, the scene transition, the scene effect, and everything is pretty much just running on autopilot. As I don't know if these are gonna load, but we can see, but we can't scroll over. We actually have to select them individually, each scene. But with this storybook, this looks pretty good for a children's story. We have a meerkat right here. I do say that this is pretty visually pleasing in my opinion. And the editor is generating voiceover audio for the video. I'm gonna see how that looks. Yeah, I'm not sure how it was in the beginning. Just testing it out now, but I do see that this isn't something that you could like run a channel off of unless you're doing like a video per week. Because you see how much credits it took. And then if you're trying to animate each scene, it could cost a lot of credits. So you would eventually run out of your credits. But you do see that you have options to buy additional credits, which I appreciate. Some people just like to stick to their monthly allotment and go from there. And for some people that are power users, it just doesn't make sense to do that. That's why having a credit system where the credits are reasonable or API and things like that. So wow, it didn't create like a little short video. Like this is 3-minute video. And here we have our summary. We can share it. We can download it as a video MP4 or a storyboard, or we could download a thumbnail JPEG and we can actually play this.
In grasslands, Leo the lion was famous, but not for his roar or his hunting skills. Instead, he was known for his extraordinary. Whenever the afternoon sun warmed the earth, Leo would curl up beneath the tallest acacia tree, his mane tangled with fallen leaves, drift off into sleep. But while the lions around him chased gazelles, Leo chased. One day, as a gentle breeze tickled his whiskers, Leo drifted into the deepest slumber yet. In his dream, the sky glittered a dazzling blue above towering clouds, and Leo stood at the edge of a cliff, staring into the endless horizon. He stretched his sleepy limbs, and to his surprise, a pair of soft feathery wings emerged from his back. The mighty lion, king of the land, was suddenly able to soar.
I'm actually not going to watch this whole entire thing, but I must say that I'm going to download this because it's pretty impressive. Even though not every scene was animated, the voice is nice and pleasing to hear. I like how the voice sounds. And how the scenes just seamlessly shifts over, keeps me engaged. So I think this is pretty awesome. And we can see here, we have our summary right here. They give us hashtags, a script. So they show us the script. And they show us the prompt that actually started everything off. So what is my overall first impression with this? I think from a simple prompt, even though it costs like a whole bunch of credits and I didn't animate any scenes. And even without animating any scenes, I'm fully engaged in the story because the visuals are very pleasing. The voice is very pleasing to hear. And it just shifts over seamlessly. So these didn't load right here, so that was fine. But I think in the next one, what we'll try to do is animate each scene and actually go from there. So we're gonna head back to the workspace. And you can see right here, we have our recent project saved, and they do have some AI tools, which is the image background editor and the image to video. So this is interesting right here. So in this particular feature right here, it gives you a reference image and you give a prompt, describe the details or actions in the scene. And then for high quality, you can see it costs 48 credits, I believe, for the 4 seconds. And for 10 seconds, 120. So actually what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and hop into GenSpark. I'm gonna create an image. Since we have credits to spare, I'll do a 9:16 and maybe a 1:1. And we'll just create a little story and go from there. So we are over in GenSpark, and I created this image with GPT image 1.5 back over in the Mootion. Now this right here is optional, right? You don't need to give it any prompt. It's optional, but just to give it some light direction, we're gonna give it a prompt, and we're gonna choose 9 by 16 because that's the size of our image. 36 credits for regular quality. We can go with high quality for 72 credits. Let's go ahead and see what the high quality looks like. Very subtle natural motion, light wind moving her hair, gentle breathing, and minimal camera drift. It says it's going to take about 2 minutes to generate, so higher quality, and it takes less time to generate. So if time is something that's important to you, you select the higher quality. If you have a little bit of patience, you can have the lower quality and it takes a little bit longer to generate. So it's curious that the lower quality takes longer to generate, but the higher quality takes a shorter time to generate. So let's go ahead and generate, spend 72 credits to do that. It says it's going to take about 2 minutes estimation. So we're going to let it do its thing. And then we're going to tap back in once it's complete. Okay, family, so that did take about 2 minutes. And you can see here it shows us the start and the result. And let's go ahead and see how it looks. So yes, it certainly did bring that image to life. We can go ahead and download that. So definitely a great feature to have here. And that was just using this image here from GenSpark, GPT image 1.5. So very, very good with being able to take a reference image. And this is a photorealistic image and bring it to life. So image to video feature works pretty good. But let's go ahead and actually, we can just select a few of these categories and just run through our credits. You see we have 7,000 credits. I really just want to just demo this for you since this is on the outs. We did a general story. So let's just go ahead and pick something. Now let's pick another fun thing for kids. We could go with history for kids. We'll test out a few of these. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video as we kind of test out the capabilities of Mootion. You can see with one video with no animation, we started off with 8,000 credits and we still have 7,888 credits for our plan. So let's go ahead and go history for kids. And for this one, let's see. We do have a few, but we have actually more styles here. So we have bold line, digital CG, low poly, flat illustration, Van Gogh, Mooka, and a few others I can't pronounce. So we do have a few. So let me just think of some things and then we'll put it here. But we actually can do script to video and we could do idea to video. So it does have some options here. And it does cost us about 20 to generate. Who were the Vikings and what did they do? I think we're going to stick with the 16 by 9. And for the actual visual style, since it's for kids, I do want to go with something like illustration, something fun. And I think this is pretty good. We can generate, and I think this is going to cost us 20 credits. Generate storyboard first, or you could generate the script first. Let's just go ahead and just generate. I think this is going to generate everything together. So if you have a script, you can put your script here, but I actually like the first script it came up with. So we're going to go ahead and generate that. It's going to go ahead and do its thing. So this is a little bit of a different angle is working because you've seen before when we put the prompt to story, it looked a little bit different. It took us through a bit of a different journey when we went that route. And this route, it's kind of giving us a percentage right here, right in the detailed script. it doesn't have all the features, with the director and just handing off, different parts of the story to each key member. I actually appreciated that journey a lot more than what this is, but this is a little bit different right here. So here we have our title and we have our scenes. What I do like about this one is that they don't give us a timer. So, so I think this is a little bit different than what we prompt the story, because this one we give a little bit more control. See, it's generating a storyboard. We're at 54%. There's really no rush, and we can animate each scene, and we can take our time to do it. But I wonder, we can also regenerate and we can insert images. So that's one thing you need to know. If credit costs is your concern with this tool, you need to, and this I say this with any platform that's on a credit system, you need to have another tool to where you can ease the burden on your credits. If you just want to be able to animate, then it's probably better if you have another tool that you can use, like I have GenSpark, to generate your images so that you can ease the burden on your credits so you don't have to go through so much. And you can see here with the tier 3 plan I'm on, we can have up to 32, I believe it's 32, right? You can have up to 32 scenes. So if you want to have a lot of scenes, tier 2 is the place to be for that. I really think that's a sweet spot if you're going to keep a tool like this. It doesn't show what the course credit would be to animate all, but for this story, I do want to animate all, even though each scene is not necessarily loading yet. But I just want to reiterate, it's going to cost you credits to regenerate and do certain things. But if you insert images, let's select edit. Like you can crop, you can flip vertical, you can change the background, you can erase. Like say we want to, because this scene looks horrible. Let's say we want to add more Vikings. I don't know why it said Vikings. You can see right here, any modifications you make is going to cost you credits. And with this, okay, so you can edit. So I wonder if you can actually add with this edit feature. It does give us a brush size. So let's go ahead and submit. It costs us only 4 credits to modify. So it says to please wait for a few seconds. Just want to add a couple more Vikings, even though some of our Vikings here are, they look troubling. So the AI didn't generate the best images here, and that's just something to keep in mind. Although with the lion story, the images looked outstanding, but with this particular image style of the illustration, well, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, which is fine. I kind of figured it wouldn't do that. But we do have the option to modify the scene. I just could not add a Viking there. Let's just say I want to get rid of this boat, so we can just. But they do have the erase feature, so why would you even do that? So you can also change the background. And it's going to go ahead and detect the background. And we have the option to change the background. And it seems like each edit is going to cost you about 4 credits. But I don't think I really want to change anything right here. I think it's fine. I did want to try and add a Viking, but it didn't work the way that I tried to do it. Just going to head out of this. We'll say yes. So it doesn't show what's going to happen if we animate all. So I do want to select animate all. Okay, and this right here is going to cost about 1,080 credits to generate. And for high quality, see, this is curious. You spend more to have a shorter wait period. So that's pretty curious. I will spend the 1,000 credits just to animate the scenes, but to wait 8 minutes to generate at a lower quality, you would think that the quality would determine how fast or slow something would go in the opposite. Where if you want lower quality, it'll take a shorter time, and higher quality, it'll take a longer time. But that seems to be opposite here. But let's just go ahead and select OK. And we're gonna go ahead and pause this video and tap back in once it's done. Okay, family, so it did not take 8 minutes to generate, but also we can see that it does say 20 scenes, but a lot of them aren't here. Okay, so we can see some of them. Okay, so that I see that there's no voice in this one. So it animates each individual scene, and I gotta say the animation does look pretty good, even if the images aren't the best. Yeah, this looks like good stuff, but it's no audio, so it's just strange how I couldn't see the images and what they look like. Just kind of just went out on a whim. And we do have the story here, like it's saying things here. Well, things are written here, but they're not saying anything, and there's no audio. So it's almost like you waste your credits unless you put them into a tool where you can actually do the voiceover, which is what I would do to kind of save the animation because it looks pretty good. The animation is pretty good. I'm not even gonna front on this one, family. This animation looks pretty good. You could definitely do some stuff with this because their animation is quality, in my opinion. Like, look at the boats. Like, look at the people. Or just look at C9 and C10. We won't look at the entire thing. Now, if we had the voiceover, that would be outstanding. Like with a lion story. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. Hold on, it does say next. So let's go to next. Okay, so it's more to the story. So we do get to pick our title style. We'll just go with everything regular. Included in the video. Yes, we want that. Because that'll be awesome. Scene effects. We can go with. How does mini zoom look? We'll just stick with Ken Burns. And for the scene transitions, I do like the option of fade in and out. And okay, so now we have the voiceover. Let's see how Ava sounds.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
And how about Jenny?
Only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
Let's try Libby.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
And Sarah.
Hi, there. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
Okay, so now we see we have options to the plus and the pro voices. So the plus, I would like to believe, is go over here. The ultra realistic voices and the limited, which I wish they would say it's plus or if it's pro, because they don't say that in AppSumo. You kind of left to figure it out.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that definitely is higher quality. Here, Adam.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Try Charlotte.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Now I'm wondering if these are 11 Lab voices here. It seems like it should be. Let's test out Brian just for me to confirm.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
This is 100% 11 Labs voices. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I recognize some of these voices. And I get it, it's business locking certain things behind higher tiers, but it's 11 Labs voices. Just let people use their API key, and that'll solve the problem. But that's just my opinion. Let's go with Chris. It's definitely 11 Labs voices. Stop playing. So with the, are we gonna have an AR avatar? I think that would be pretty cool. Well, not if you're gonna be that big. Trigger left, trigger right. Yeah, you're too big. I wish I could control, make the size smaller. I don't want the avatar to kind of take over the scene. I want the focus to actually be on the story. So we'll just go with no avatar. And then we have the option for music. Yeah, I don't like none of, I don't like that for that. Let's go with something for kids. That's definitely vibe for this. Um, how about this one? I think that sounds okay. Even though I wish you could upload your own music, perhaps. I'll probably create something in Suno, something for that theme. But they do give you they do have a large selection of music. I don't want to make everything about the music though. So we'll just put it low. Okay, so you can change it. So they do have it categorized. You know, I like that, but I don't like it for the story. So you know what? I'm actually not gonna go with any music. Just go with none. Okay, so you have this here and it just kind of takes you through everything. Let's go ahead and composite. So it does take us on a different kind of journey than using the prompt to story with our line story, where it just kind of just gave us that journey where director and just handing things off. I know I said that before. With this, it's more customizable. There's no hurry to animate all the scenes. It just kind of just takes its time. And I think because of that, this is going to be longer because with the line story, each scene was animated. Well, it wasn't animated, so it just kind of went, it transitioned with the actual voiceover. It'll do the voiceover and then it'll transition to the next scene. But there was no motion, but it was still very engaging. So I think it depends on the kind of stories that you want to create. Because in my opinion, you don't always need motion. Sometimes it helps, but sometimes you don't need it. But here, once again, we have our summary. We have everything here, our hashtags. It's going to go ahead and create that video. I'm not going to have you here listening to me yammer. We'll pause and we'll tap back in once it's finished. Okay, so that actually didn't take very long, and here is our story. Vikings, warriors, traders, and explorers. So let's go.
Have you ever heard stories about warriors sailing on wooden ships with dragon heads at the front? Those were Vikings. But Vikings weren't just warriors. They were also farmers, traders, explorers, and even storytellers. The Vikings lived more than 1,000 years ago, from about the year 800 to 1100, in a time called the Viking. Most Vikings came from what is now Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. These cold northern places are known as Scandinavia. Why did the Vikings leave their homelands? Their lands were beautiful but rocky, with cold winters and not much good farming land. To find better places to live, grow food, trade for new things, the Vikings built strong ships to sail many miles across the sea. Vikings are famous for being fearsome raiders. They sailed across the seas and attacked towns and monasteries in England, France.
I was just kind of caught up in how it looked. But I think this is actually pretty good. Well, the transition. Now the images, when you see them up close, when everything is in full screen and is maximized, you see the images, they didn't come out the best quality. But that could just be with the image generation. But I think overall it came out pretty okay. I think you could actually use this. And you can see we still have 6,000 credits. I think you could actually use this to create competent stories for like a YouTube channel or something like that, because it works out pretty good. I do think I want to do one more story. We're coming up on about 1 hour left. And I wonder, should we go and just do another random story here, or should we actually go with something here? So they have faceless short videos, bilingual story, dream journal. So I wonder what this is right here. So pretty much the same thing. The difference here is it seems like the journey. It does give you ideas here. You can see right here. 5 hidden features of your smartwatch you're missing. So it does give you ideas here. And it doesn't seem to cost you any credits. And you see with this quick paste right here, you can set the quick paste option in general creation. So you can see here, this doesn't cost you any credits if you don't have any ideas, right? So really everything is all about what your idea is, or if you have a script per paragraph. I don't know what this is right here. Per paragraph as a scene. I think they actually come up with pretty good scripts, in my opinion. But of course, if you have a script of your own, you can put a script into here. I think they have pretty good visual styles. I wonder. I feel like I just want to test out one more since we did illustration and we did cartoon. They have 3D game, low poly. They have Minecraft. So let me just think on it a second, and I'm going to go through the whole thing, and we'll come back at the end and see the final product. So family, I actually did do a video, but I've also found this recording to video, and it gives some instructions here. So for the audio file, you can upload it under 5 minutes and 500 megabytes. Audio content, clear speech, fluent speaking. Video file, and it's for standard and pro users. Under 5 minutes, 500 megabytes, and it gives you some supported format. And for video content, full body, no wobbly shots, uniform lighting. Or you can record audio or video, and I'm faceless, so you know we're going to go with audio. And I have this script that Claude helped me write, and I'm just going to put it over here into ChatGPT so I can read it. And then we'll go with Sketchbook because I think that looks pretty interesting. And we'll go from there. The coffee shop dreamer. You know that moment when you're sitting in a coffee shop, staring out the window, and your mind just wanders? The steam from your cup starts to swirl, and suddenly, it's not just steam anymore. It's a path. A winding road stretching across mountains you've never climbed. The coffee cup? Now it's a hot air balloon, lifting you up above the clouds. And those clouds? They're not clouds at all. They're ideas, dreams, possibilities. You blink, and you're back. Same coffee shop, same window. But now you know. Now you know exactly where you're going. So, thank you for that. The coffee shop dreamer. You know that moment when you're sitting in a coffee shop? So you heard me say it. We could go ahead and transcribe it. I'm going to go with sketchbook. I'm going to go with English because that's the language that I spoke. So we're going to go ahead and transcribe this and see how that sounds, and we'll tap back in once everything is done. Oh wait, we have it here. It's already transcribed. I hope I spoke clearly. Can I edit? Road. We do want to make sure everything here. I hope I spoke clearly enough. Seems like it's okay. But now you know. Now you know exactly where you're going. So it sounds good, and I'm going to go ahead and generate that. But for speech language, I do want to show you that these are the options that you have here. If you're curious, you want to know if your language is supported, here's the speech languages for this particular feature if you're going to record with Mootion. And of course, you have the option to retranscribe if you don't want to manually edit and try to speak again clearly so it can capture exactly what it is that you're saying. We'll go ahead and hit generate. It's going to go ahead and generate those scenes, and then once it's done, I'll animate it and we'll take a look and see how it looks. Okay, family, before we get into the actual demo video, just wanted to show you that it took about 16 scenes. It gives a summary right here, hashtags, of course, the script that Claude helped me come up with. And now let's go ahead and take a look at it. A winding road stretching across mountains you've never climbed. The coffee cup? Now it's a hot air balloon, lifting you up above the clouds. And those clouds? Not clouds at all. Your ideas, dreams, possibilities. You blink, and you're back. Same coffee shop, same window. But now? Now you know. Now you know exactly where you're going. I think that came out pretty good, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and download that. And we'll head back home. I do also want to show you this other video that I did about 20 minutes ago. You can play that, a little bit of it, not the whole minute.
Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Don't fear failure. Fear being in the exact same place next year. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Every failure is a step closer to success. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Success is stumbling from failure to...
So that was a faceless short video. So I showed you the storyboard. I showed you a kid's story, motivational. I even showed you the audio to video. And of course, I have most AI tools. They have image editor, background editor, which everything seems to have. And I think I've shown you pretty much a lot. I didn't show you any of the Buddha, the Christian, or Islamic. That was in my wheelhouse. The recording to video, I definitely made sure to show you that. They do have bilingual story, which that looks interesting right there. And then they have general creation, which is this. But I gotta say that my favorite feature so far has been the actual prompt to video, which just takes you through that whole journey. It's just a little bit too rushed. I just like how the visual journey looks. But what is my overall thoughts on Mootion? If you didn't pick up ZebraCat before, I think this is a great tool to have if you have AppSumo Plus. But if you don't have it, I definitely recommend you get it. Even on the $69, the tier 1, it's fine, in my opinion, because the tool itself is pretty good. The animation is pretty good. I think the prices to re-up on the credits is pretty reasonable. I do wish they would let you add like API See, the thing is with tools like this, when they lock you into certain things and they don't give you API, you're just kind of just stuck. But when you have API and you can use like 11 labs to bring in your voices and things like that, it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. When everything is just strictly on platform with no third party involvement, you're just kind of limited. And that just kind of just comes with the terms and conditions for certain platforms. I did enjoy testing out this tool. I definitely think it's worth picking up on AppSumo. Even on a monthly plan, I think it's definitely good. The animations is pretty good. The images, I would probably use maybe a different tool so you can get better quality images because the motion features is pretty good in my opinion. It's rather coherent, I think, for the AI. Just pretty much just taking, you saw that it took my speech and created a video, a visual, took a prompt, created a video, took an idea and created a video. So it's pretty competent, but I think you would definitely want to put your own personal touch, your own images and things like that, and just make it more unique, make it more your own. So I definitely recommend it. And if you're interested in it, whether on AppSumo or on a monthly plan, there'll definitely be a link in the description and a pinned comment below for you to check out Mootion. But I'm curious to know, what is your thoughts on Mootion? Do you think it's worth picking up? I personally give it 2 thumbs up. And if I didn't have something already like ZebraCat, this would definitely be something that I would be interested in just hanging on to. But I just wanted to test it out for you all and just show you what it could do. And you can see right here, I still have 5,000 credits. So one thing you got to note, you got to kind of know exactly what it is that you're doing. And there are ways to save credits and to give you a way to earn credits. I assume it's like sharing and doing things like that if you want to go out of your way to do that. Actually, how can you earn that? So inviting people, referral codes and things like that, you get credits. So it definitely is credit hungry if you're trying to animate things. That's one thing to keep in mind. But I think it does a good job at what it set out to do. So that's my thoughts on Mootion. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But that being said, I'm gonna end the video right here. This is Brian, the introverted marketer, and it ain't hard to tell, it's simple. I'm gonna catch you on the next video, family. Peace.